for the fofo. This for the fofo. For the city and the back roads. Got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the fofo. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah. So let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva. Them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmettuin Valley. We from the fofo chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcon. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it, yeah. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them, yeah. And kinda got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the fofo. This for the fofo. This for the fofo.
Good morning, everybody. It's Sam here with the 440 Sports Show. We are Tuesday, March 21st. Getting ready to head into, a great event this weekend. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. With this all-star game, a lot of the final pieces are coming together on that. And I'm really, really excited about that, about this event as a whole, to be quite honest with you. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great minds working to make sure that this thing is working. And I just want to make sure we've got sound. We do. All right. Tell you what, that was a nightmare last week. Keep your eyes peeled. The coaches' corners. I've got a couple more that I'm working on. Obviously, we got a lot to get to. Today, we're going to talk about the Grand Valley Mustangs. We're going to do a preview on their baseball team. And then we've got Jefferson, and then we're going to jump right into softball. I think what's craziest to me to think about is that this weekend, along with the All-Star game, starts baseball and softball right now. There's some big games around the county. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get to these games this weekend because of the All-Star game. But, one of the games I know for sure that's going on, according to the schedule, assuming that weather is going to hold up and weather is going to cooperate, is a doubleheader over with Lakeside and Jefferson. And you want to talk about, a great season opening game. It doesn't get much better than that one. I do know that next week we will have Lakeside versus Geneva, assuming the weather is going to hold up. That will most likely kick off my coverage, my season start of baseball coverage this year, as Lakeside's going to host Geneva at Lakeside on Tuesday. One of the things I've talked about, excuse me. All right, let me pull it up. One of the things I talked about during that Lakeside preview, I would love to actually, get that game covered on the 27th, which is Monday. I'd love nothing more than to cover that at Geneva. Unfortunately, Geneva, is the only school in Ashtabula County that is not utilizing the YSN services yet. I still hold a lot of hope that is going to change. My fingers are crossed that eventually we can start covering Geneva baseball and give these seniors the coverage and the broadcast and all the extras that they deserve. But until then, we're Geneva folks. We're going to catch you on the road. So that's going to start right there on March 28th. Again, assuming the weather is going to hold up. That'll be right over at Lakeside. This weekend, I want to send a big shout out and a big, they might even be there already. Good luck to the Edgewood Warriors as they head down to Pigeon Forge Tennessee to play in a tournament. We talked about that with Coach Jeff Barger. If you want to check out that interview, that's also going to be available on the Coach's Corner right here on ysnlive.com. We're doing our very best to try and get these things knocked out. You figure even with missing one team here in the county, we still have 7 teams, 2 coaches each. That's 14 interviews that we're going to knock out throughout different portions of the season. I want to send a big thank you to Alvin Rodriguez from St. John and Jeff Barger for finding some time sitting down with us on the show. It was really awesome of them to do that. That's just some of the things that are coming up. So I'm really, really excited about that, on top of another event in the Joe Pete alumni game, which we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. All right, let's jump into the Grand Valley Mustangs. And I want to thank Coach Zach Strine for reaching out. And, I had to – I really needed some help with this one. And the reason why, and I'm going to tell you very soon, is because not because I got to watch quite a bit of Grand Valley baseball last year. So it wasn't that I was unfamiliar with Grand Valley, but Grand Valley graduates. I mean, there's only 4 listed right now, but a total of 7 seniors last year graduate for this team. They lose a huge chunk of their team, including Hayden Hayduck. Hayden Hayduck, who is playing over at Lake Erie College right now on a full boat, man, a full ride. And you want to talk about an absolutely phenomenal baseball player. They don't get much better than Hayden Hayduck. That dude could do pretty much anything on the field. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to Hayden Hayduck, who was, he played a little pitcher for him, played a little bit of infield for him. Dane Sparks, who was, another first team All County or a first team All CBC kid. He went on to play baseball over at Muskingum. So, you got 2 college baseball players. You're losing both of those guys. DJ Webb. DJ Webb was a big bat for Grand Valley last year. Zach Hall was another kid. Big bat, great in the field. But, they're not as worried. Coach is not as worried about, who they lost. But he does understand that they are inexperienced. And what he said is, we're a young, inexperienced team this year, losing 7 starters from last, but they expect contributions from a mix of older and young players, with some of the older players that he's talking about being Casey Turner, Eric Ellsworth, and then a new returning player in Justin Hayduck. And he's a new returning player. I say that because he becomes an everyday starter this year. So, we're going to use some terminologies like that. It may get a little confusing from time to time, but, you are, on this show, I call you a new addition, or if you didn't start last year. Most of the time we're gonna keep that for just freshmen, but Justin Hayduck, for all intents and purposes, is gonna be a new addition to the lineup, I guess is where we'll call that. Cam Cottrell, also another great player for them. Lucas Henry. And then they've got 2 freshmen that are coming up in Playton Plaziga and Blake Taylor, who they're going to expect, maybe not everything from these freshmen, but they definitely want contributions from both of them. Anytime you have a team that loses a large group of their their starters, and they were successful last year too. When I talked to Coach Jeff Barger over at Edgewood, we talked about the success they had last year. Grand Valley was nipping right at their heels. They finished the season 15-7 with a 9-3 conference record, falling second in the Valley Division only to Edgewood. And those Edgewood Grand Valley games were fun to watch because back and forth they would go. It was really great baseball. When I talked about some of the games where I watched lead changes and momentum swings, I'm referencing those games. They were fun to watch. I think they're going to be fun to watch again this year. They got a lot of great things going on. You know what I mean? Casey Turner is probably going to be their biggest arm. He's going to be their biggest. I don't know that he's necessarily going to be the biggest at the plate. He's a great hitter, but I think that they're going to need to look at through other guys to step up, and it definitely can't be a Casey Turner show all year. One of the things about their best player last year, Hagen Hayduck, you know what I mean? He was kind of a utility guy. He could pitch a little bit. He could hit a little bit. You know what I mean? He could play the infield, outfield, whatever. So I'm more concerned and curious, I guess is a better term, to see who's going to kind of take on that role. Like, you can't replace a guy like that necessarily, but somebody should be able to kind of fulfill that role in some fashion. Let's talk a little bit about their schedule, as on April 3rd, they will head to Kirtland. April 4th, they're home versus Kirtland. April 6th, they go to Jefferson in what I anticipate to be a pretty big game. Jefferson looking to be a pretty good baseball team again this year. They've just got a real good baseball program, a real good baseball culture over there at Jefferson. So it'll be interesting to watch that matchup. Gotta love the county ones, I'll tell you that. Grand Valley is in the CVC Valley division. So they share this division actually with with Edgewood also. 4-11, they're heading to Crestwood, or the Crestwood's coming to their place. 4-12, Crestwood is where they're going to head. 4-13, they've got Rootstown coming to Orwell. 4-14, they've got a trip down to Perry. 4-15, here we go. Here's another interesting one here on the schedule. Pymatuning Valley. They've got a doubleheader on this April 15th. Now, there are a lot of different components to this game. Both of the teams are kind of reeling from the loss of seniors. Both of the teams had pretty good years last year. But there's a battle of the Valley. There's an Orwell-Andover rivalry that happens here. So those are some games that are going to be very, very interesting to watch. I don't have our regular season schedule yet, so I don't want to completely commit to anything. But there, you may as well put a star next to that one. That's one of those ones where we're definitely going to try and get covered. It should be a really fun game to watch. 4-17, then they head over to Edgewood and then return back home on 4-18. Again, this was a series last year that went back and forth. It was a very, very fun baseball. Those were very fun baseball games to watch when you had guys, like Casey Turner, like Hagen Hayduck, facing off against, guys over at Edgewood like Logan Cray and Ethan Dietrich. Those pitching duels, those are just fun to watch. Berkshire on April 20th. April 24th, they head over to Conneaut. We talked a little bit about some of the struggles that they had, last year. And part of their biggest struggle, I think, is the fact that the field, was kind of in question as to whether it was ever going to get to be used. At times where Conneaut's baseball field was completely underwater. 425, they head over to they bring it home to Grand Valley. Here's an interesting one here. 429 heading to West Branch, going to Beloit. West Branch is one of our YSN brethren. I don't know that Grand Valley's ever played West Branch. I don't know. I've seen West Branch on Ashtabula schedules more than this year. So West Branch is absolutely packed to the rafters with athletes. So I expect nothing less from their baseball team. May 2nd, they're going to host Harvey. May 4th, Harvey going to be heading to Orwell. Harvey's a program that last year really had a tough year. A lot of kids, they were trying to get a lot of different things done and really kind of, not the year that they would have wanted to end on. But from what I'm understanding with Harvey coming into this year, they've got a lot more kids who've played baseball. They've got kids with a whole year experience under their belt, and they should be a tougher opponent this year. May 5th, they're going to host Hawken. May 6th, here's another one, folks. This one most likely going to be right here on YSN as they travel over to Smith Field here in Ashtabula, Ohio, to play the St. John Heralds. I anticipate this one to be a barn burner, in the words of my friend Ryan. You know what I mean? That seems like it's going to be a great game. Two great teams meeting up late in the season, too. By this time, May 6th, you're talking about kind of seeding and who you're playing in the tournament and that sort of deal. This could be a game with bigger implications than we realize. May 8th, they host Cardinal, and Cardinal bringing back an absolutely incredible pitcher. They have a great pitcher last year in Jake Bean, who I believe is returning this year. Yeah, Jake Bean. Jake Bean is listed as a senior right now for Cardinal. Jake Bean is also listed as a Kent State commit, so this is a D1 kid over there at Cardinal. He's had that should be a really good test for Grand Valley. Again, hosting them at Grand Valley and then heading over to Middlefield to play them there, and then they're going to end the year on May 11th as they take on Garfield. Again, it should be a great year for Grand Valley baseball. Coach has some high expectations. He understands that, they're young. They're young this year, and that with youth comes growing pains. But, growing pains can go either way. Sometimes growing pains are through success. Sometimes they're through failure. Sometimes it's a perfect mixture. I think the perfect mixture is kind of what you can expect more likely from Grand Valley this year. I think they're going to win a lot of baseball. I think they're going to be a very competitive team, and I'm really looking forward to catching them right here on YSN Live. Those games, along with all the games that we're covering this year, we're going to, the commitment is to try and get at least 2 games per week for all these Ashtabula teams covered with, a hard try to get 3 with a mixture between baseball and softball. All right, folks, we're going to go to our first break. We're going to talk to our friends from Toyota of Warren. I just want to remind you that the 440 Sports Show, Ashtabula's only morning sports talk show, is brought to you by absolutely no one right now. So there are some sponsorship and advertisement opportunities available right here, not just for this show, but for YSN as a whole. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on any of the socials, or you head over to ysnlive.com and check out advertisements. You reach out, DJ is going to do a great job of getting back to you and providing you what I believe is truly the best value in regional local sports advertising. Without further ado, though, let's go to our friends from Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn.
Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
All right, folks, we're back. Sam Torres here from the 440 Sports Show. Thanks again for joining Ashtabula's only morning sports talk show. Again, I am Sam Torres. Today is Tuesday, March 21st. We just finished up covering the Grand Valley Mustangs, doing a little bit of a baseball preview on them. We've got some more coaching interviews that are going to be coming up here on the show very shortly. We're working on them. Schedules are tough, particularly at this time of year. We've got basketball, we've got wrestling, and it's run right into baseball. I can't believe we're talking about the opening day of baseball this weekend. It's absolutely bonkers to me. Bonkers. But, it's in the words of Drake, it's a rollie, not a stopwatch. Time don't ever stop. It's going to keep going, and that's what we're going to keep doing as well. I'm really, really excited about it because I think baseball this year is going to get a pretty big push, and I'm excited to be a part of that. Let's talk about a couple of the upcoming events right here on YSN Live, including starting this weekend. We may as well start with the Big Kahuna, baby. The YSN All-Star Game. This one's going to happen. Again, we had a time update. This graphic was accurate at one time, but the time update is actually going to be 5 o'clock for the girls' game. In that girls' game, you're going to be able to see some of the Ashtabula names that you know and love, including Lainey Passanen, Katie McAllister, Kaylin Hart, Mia Contenza of Jefferson, Alyssa Severa, and Tamor Hoskin, all taking part in this game. Oh, also on the girls' side, representation from the coaching side. That's Randy Venzel, who's going to be helping coach the girls' basketball. And I could not be more proud of the area. I could not be more proud of our coaches and our athletes. I think this is just a phenomenal game and phenomenal exposure. And it's a great, I really love the fact that they're involved in this. I really do. I think it's awesome that they get to be a part of this awesome event and, hopefully for years and years to come, But let's talk about a little bit over on the boys' side as well. You've got Deshaun Williams from Lakeside who's going to be there. I'm expecting big time stuff from this young man. I mean, he went out in the CBC All-Star game and dropped a 30 burger in the All-Star game. Don't forget about the Senior Classic, going 14 3-pointers in 1 minute. That available right here on YSN Live. If you go to ysnlive.com/440 and goal, it's available right there. You'll be able to rewatch it, the boys and the girls game. Both of those games, by the way, phenomenal games if you want to check out a replay. Both determined by the final possession of the game. It was really, really something to be seen. Chance Loomis, the Bolt from Conneaut, a fast guy on the court. He's got a really great mid-range jumper. He gets to the rim very, very well. He's very good with the ball in his hand as well. He's one of the better shot creators in the area. One of the better shot creators in the area. Also, Nate Boyarski, the chef, my favorite nickname. The chef Boyarski, going to be out there cooking up some hot plays in this game. Nate Boyarsky, I really can't say enough about this young man from Grand Valley High School. Athletic ability is something that he is not short of in any regard. He's very fast. He understands the game very, very well. Any team that he's on instantly becomes better. Nate Boyarsky. So we're talking about Joey DeGeorge, the number one stunner from Jefferson. 25 points a game is what this kid averaged on the year. He's a big kid with a very high shot release point. He blocks shots well. He gets into the paint well. He's only a junior, so the Falcons are going to have him back next year. So how awesome is that for this Jefferson program? Jesus Hernandez from St. John. We talk about a post player with better feet. Like the TikTok says, I gotta see him. Jesus Hernandez is going to be in this one. I'm really looking forward to that one. Blake Krisnerick from PV. The nickname, I'll tell you what, his nickname, I didn't even give to him. This was provided to me from my good friends over in Andover at the beautiful Pymatuning Valley. Blake Krisnerick, the Condor, is his nickname, the Condor, because this kid's got, arms that could probably touch both of these walls at the same time. He's a kid who can shoot the ball very, very well. He can block shots very, very well. He's going to be a part of it. And also, we can't talk about our All-Star game without talking about Edgewood's James Montanaro, the Quiet Storm. The Quiet Storm, really the most dangerous of the storms. This is a young man that, before you realize it, can drop 12, 15, 18 points on you, and he's just quietly getting the job done. When it comes to on-ball defense, he's also phenomenal there too. Ashtabula is going to be well represented at this All-Star game, and I hope that you guys can either find your way down Route 11 to the Beagley Center. That's a double E-B. Beagley Center in Youngstown, Ohio. And also going to be representation from Ashtabula via myself. I'll be on the call there with Ty Bartell for the boys game. It's going to be a great, great game. I really can't say enough about this game. I'm so excited. We're going to be given to a great charity, and let me make sure I get that charity correct. It's called Brighten Up for Kids. So Brighten Up for Kids is going to be the charity that's going to be benefiting from all the work that gets done out there. It's really just an awesome deal. Now, for all the athletes out there, all the athletes that I just named off, I do want to bring something to your attention. Now, a lot of you have already been reached out to, and that is awesome. That is great. But you need to, if you get a chance, check over here to this website right here. Oh, guess what? It's ysnlive.com. Now, with ysnlive.com, you are going to have all the best information. All the best information going to be right here on this website. This is just the girls one, but if you look down, a lot of it's going to kind of tell you what the date is, who's playing, and this is where it's going to get a little bit important. Who is playing for what team? These teams home. Let me make sure I'm giving you good information. The home team is going to wear light jerseys. They are going to wear light jerseys. The away team is going to wear dark jerseys. You're going to be able to find your name right here on this website, www.ysnlive.com. You're going to find all, who's coaching here, like Coach Venzel. The first person on his team, Alyssa Severa. She's confirmed she's going to be there. I'm really, really excited about that one, too. She's really a phenomenal basketball player. But if you go down to the bottom here, you're going to see check-in's going to start at 4 o'clock. If you want to you need to wear your uniform. Fans, it's going to be $10 for adults and $5 for students. Again, all of the profits for this one going over to Brighten Up for Kids. So it's really just a great reason to kind of support an awesome charity right here on Saturday, March 25th. And you know what, folks, while you're here, you may as well take a look. Let's take a look over here at ysnlive.com, where you can find the very best information. Live games, scores, standing schools. Say you want to look up a school, boom, here you go. Check it out right here on here. There's some Youngstown State stuff here, the youth stuff. You could check out our show stuff. Big Dogs of the Valley, which I want to bring this up because I think this is such a phenomenal achievement for these kids. I just want you guys to look at the numbers. 1 million votes on the Big Dog of the Valley for the girls. Surprisingly enough, for the boys, basketball, I say only as if it's not an incredibly large number, 761,000. And then the wrestlers. And I shouldn't be surprised, even though I was, because nobody, and I mean capital N nobody, supports their athletes like wrestlers. It is a community. It is very, very similar to something like swimming. 4.9 million votes on the wrestlers. Wow. Unbelievable. Congratulations to those, as those are getting announced now. I know that the first one is right here. Brant, going to win from Poland, is going to bring your Big Dog of the Valley home for this year. So congratulations to that young woman. Anyway, so that's what's going on this weekend. We've got the All-Star game going on, and then right after that, we're right into baseball. But we've got some other stuff that's coming up the pipe too, including this one right here on March 31st. The Joe Pigskin Pete alumni game going to be happening over at Jefferson High School. This one is going to have alumni teams from each one of the county schools taking place. I thought it was 35 and over, but I think now it may be 30 and over and then 30 and under. There will be 2 divisions. Regardless, it's going to be a fun game to watch. It's always great to see these highly competitive games, particularly, in the 30 and over. I'll tell you what, those games, even though the guys are a little bit longer in the tooth, those guys can really play some basketball still, and it gets really competitive really, really quickly. With the 30 and under guys, I mean, a lot of these guys are fresh out of college, and in a lot of cases, still in college, but they come out there and high flying, high octane, all drive, no reverse in these games. And most importantly, this is a game that they're doing to honor Joe Pete, who, if there was a Mount Rushmore of Ashtabula media, Joe Pete might have 2 places on my Mount Rushmore, to be honest with you. He was just that, he just meant that much. Personally, he is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I watched him make youth and high school players in the area feel like superstars. I watched him hype up their accomplishments and help them understand that they mattered. Their stuff that they were doing was worth watching. Their efforts weren't being ignored. It was that same energy that kind of brought me to this platform. It was that same energy that helps me put the energy I put in to these. And unfortunately for us, not only here in Ashtabula, but the world lost a great man far too soon, as he was taken away from us. Again, I just hope that at some point I can continue kind of, maybe not his legacy in direct form, but that I can take some of that energy that he was hoping to put into local sports and, show it through my own excitement. Again, that's where we get, if you listen to the broadcast when we're calling a game and you listen to his broadcast, if you don't hear the similarities, then maybe listen again. There was excitement. Everything you did mattered. He called people, prime time players, you know what I mean? And it was just really, really fun anytime he got on the microphone and listened to him broadcast and involving student athletes, bringing them on the show, which is another reason why we do that here. I just think it's an awesome job. He did an awesome job. And, anytime I get a chance to honor this man, I'm going to do it. So Joe Pigskin Pete, the alumni game, going to be on March 31st of 2023. We should have some more details coming in here soon. I am at the mercy of sometimes some of the other planners and what they're giving me and what information I have. I do my very, very best to provide you guys with up-to-date, accurate information on these teams. Sometimes it's not always easy to get. Sometimes it's not always accurate. But it's accurate to the best of my ability. I can promise you that. So that's what I got for today's show. Tomorrow, we are hoping to get a Jefferson preview in tomorrow. And then after that, we're jumping right into some softball stuff. Jumping into the softball previews. We'll jump probably, I don't know. I'm not going to give that to you yet because then, the internet is forever. Remember that. But we will get the Jefferson baseball preview done for you tomorrow. I'm still working on getting a couple interviews as well for some of the coaches so we can see it from their perspective. It's one thing to hear my preview as somebody who's broadcasted the games, as somebody who's watched these teams, but it's a whole nother ball game. It's a whole nother story when you're getting the guy who's actually filling out the lineup cards, and making the in-game decisions. I really respect that point of view, and I think it provides a more holistic view as well. So for the 440 Sports Show, my name is Sam Torres. I hope to see you again tomorrow, starting at 8 o'clock. Ashtabula's only morning sports show. See you soon.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them goats. All from the football. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin', and they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football. This for the football.